Jesus, it's all about you.
Your name, your glory, your fame, your story. It's all about you.
Jesus, it's all about you.
Your name, your glory, your fame, your story. It's all about you. It's all about you.
Jesus, it's all about you.
Hi guys, this is Vanya and
Edric.
we're coming at you guys with our testimony. So, I am a firm believer on everyone sharing their testimony because you never know who you can touch.
True.
So, we wanted to share our story with you guys. A lot of you guys have been following us this whole way, but we have some new followers that don't know what we've been through, and we just felt it in our heart to share with everyone what we've been through. So, I will start off our testimony, and I'll begin with, we married in 2010, and we wanted to have children, and we started trying, and we reached 2013, and, trying, we never got pregnant. So, we went to the doctor, started seeing a fertility doctor, Dr. McWilliam, I believe his name was. And so we started seeing him and talking to him, and he started doing tests, and he was like, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, oh, you have PCOS, let's control your PCOS. So we went through 2 years with him. No, a little less than 2 years. We seen him before 2013. I'm sorry.
It didn't work.
So yeah,
that's all that matters.
It didn't work. We had no success with him. So we decided to go see another doctor at Houston IVF, and he said, you know what, have you ever had this testing done? And I'm like, no. So we went and had the testing done, and sure enough, my tubes were blocked. When I was 16 years old, I had appendicitis, and that really damaged a lot of things because, when your appendix ruptures, they're just trying to save your life. They're not worried about what's going on down there or if she's ever going to have kids.
Your reproductive system was not a concern, apparently.
No. So...
But she lived.
I did. Thank the Lord. That's another testimony. But, so he told us, the only way you're going to be able to have kids is through IVF. And we were like, okay, well, how much does that cost? And they're like $18,000. So we called insurance. Insurance doesn't cover IVF. So we were like, ugh.
We ain't have no babies.
So at that point, we were stressed out after so many years of trying that we decided to move to Austin.
Yep. Decided that a change would be good. So we literally found jobs in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And rented a U-Haul, loaded it up, hit the road, and moved to Austin. And we kept hearing how cool that Austin was, and it was the new up-and-coming city. And so we figured, why not be a part of that? And I have never lived anywhere other than Houston. And so I figured, why not? Let's give it a shot. So we did it.
Take a break from trying.
Just get away from all the doctor stuff and try something to take our minds off of reproducing.
It's hard. It's hard. It was hard for us emotionally. It was stressful, especially as a woman. I feel like, we are meant to have children. We are meant to give our husbands children. And when you want it so bad and you just can't give it to your husband and you're like, God, why? But as my husband always says.
I say a lot of things.
But there's one thing you always said, stop asking God why.
Oh, I stop asking God, why is this happening to me? And instead ask, why is this happening for me? Everything happens for a reason, and I do believe that God uses us to bring other people close to Him.
Yes.
And, another thing that people always say is that God doesn't give you more than you can handle. I disagree with that. I think God gives you just enough to where you can't do it without Him.
Absolutely.
And so we clearly could not have a baby without Him.
Absolutely.
So this move brought us closer to each other, but it also brought us closer to God. It allowed for us to lean on Him more than ever, because that type of pain, that type of hurt and disappointment, it was hard to overcome without the love for each other and the love for God that we have. So we're in Austin, and we're not thinking about babies.
But I did start blogging.
Man, you did start blogging.
Started
and
writing and talking to women, going
just
through the
getting
same
it out.
thing, and
Yep.
doing poems and just doing different things to take my mind off of not having a child.
I was just enjoying all the new food in Austin, trying out
As
the
you
new
can
places to eat and stuff
But-
while she's writing.
Then I started this weight loss journey that was dear because, with PCOS, it's hard for women to lose weight no matter how hard they try. And so doctors put me on metformin, and it helped me lose weight drastically, even though it just makes me sick. But I started working out at this gym, and it was like a mixture of CrossFit with nutritionists and very hardcore workout. I lost 40 pounds doing it. But while I was there, I met this woman, and this lady was like, you should go see my husband. He's a fertility doctor, and he's amazing. And I was like, yeah, we're not trying to right now. We know how expensive it is, and it's just not in our budget to do it, and we're just not interested. But I did keep in mind what her husband's name was, and a year went by.
I think she gave you a card or something.
She just told me the name.
Oh, good memory.
Yeah, but a year went by, and I looked them up, and we were like, I think it's time for us to start looking into it again, and maybe we could come up with a strict budget, because I love to budget everything. If I want to go on a trip, if I want to do anything, we're going to have to save for it for a year before we can do it. And
Babe, can I get a bag of chips? It's not in the budget.
You gotta have a good budget. But so we called him up, scheduled an appointment, went and had a sit down meeting with him. He gave us the options, told us this is what we have to do, told us this is how much it cost, and sure enough, we created this budget, and we ended up moving out of apartment because in Austin it's so expensive. So we ended up roommating with my cousin and her husband and our goddaughter, and we did it for a year to save money. And so we said, okay, well, in 2 years we'll have enough money saved up to go through IVF. And I'll tell you how God works. God works in mysterious ways. He started getting great commissions and sell bonuses, and we were just saving, not doing anything. I wasn't getting my hair done. My nails were looking a hot mess. I was looking a hot mess.
I still don't get
clothes
haircuts.
was looking a hot mess. Like, we were on a no money, no date night, no nothing. We're going to stretch this money out. And
Netflix and chill.
and so we saved our money. Even we had help from our best friends, our
Lots of friends.
relatives, parents. They helped us. And
So many people wanted to contribute to our struggle and help us out.
And we weren't a GoFundMe type person, but,
No, I have way too much pride to...
don't let pride get in the way.
Well, yeah, no, I don't. I try not to now, but it does, and to ask people to help us
It's hard.
raise 20,000. That it's not something that it's not something that we want to do every day. But we had amazing friends, amazing family,
And we thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Because, y'all gave us that push and that start. And we're talking about, here's $500, here's $800, here's $1,000, here's $300. Like, you guys helped us out tremendously. And within a year, our goal was 2 years. Within a year, we had the money saved. And I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, people ask, how did y'all do it? I can't tell you. I have to give it to God. God did it for us. God worked things out. We got approved for a care credit card that was helpful extremely. And, God just worked things out for us in ways that we couldn't imagine. And so we went through IVF. We went through round 1 of IVF. We had the money saved. The doctor, Dr. Mogadam, I have to recommend him if anyone is going through infertility treatments.
Shout out to Dr. M.
He is the doctor because he was not in it for the money. He was in it to help
Truly
our
help
dreams
us,
come.
yeah.
Like, he helped us out with medicine. He
Not
helped
just
us
him,
out.
his staff also.
Oh, and we love them.
The
They're
entire
family
staff,
to us.
the front
Yes.
desk, the nurses, everybody there made this, this trying experience
Dr.
extremely
Boganoff,
easy.
Austin Fertility Institute.
Austin Fertility Institute.
Look them up.
Yeah.
But so we tried round one. We had to go through this long, drawn out process where they get your body ready. They're monitoring you. You have to do an egg retrieval, and he had to go in the room and just give us.
It's
sperm.
my part of the testimony, guys.
mean,
I got to do my stuff in a cup. Very
That's
awkward,
it.
fellas. If you ever, I
They get a
always thought
video
about it. You know, you
and
see
go
it
in
on
the cup.
TV and stuff. They really gave me some material to use.
While we struggle with shots, injections, blood work,
Can I finish my testimony?
monitoring.
Can I finish my testimony? They give you material, fellas. You get to go in the room. And Dr. Mogadam's, it was really, really comfy.
Oh my god!
There was nice chairs.
I don't think they
and
want to hear all that.
it was hard, honey.
Right.
Because it's not every day you do it in the cup. But
Yeah, they're 2 seconds compared to all the other stuff. But the egg retrieval process, I mean, it wasn't even just egg retrieval. They found polyps. They had to go in and remove polyps.
you know what a polyp is.
Yeah, and then with my tubes being bad, they went and took my tubes out because they said the chances of IVF working with your tubes removed is a lot higher. So they ended up taking the tubes out, and it was just a lot of surgeries before the actual procedure. And so they pulled 17, I believe, eggs from me, maybe more
16,
than that. I don't
17,
even remember.
18.
But it was a lot of
Somewhere.
eggs they pulled. And then so what they do is they have to fertilize, and then they take his sperm and my eggs, and they make more babies with it. And those have to fertalize into
Embryos.
the embryos have to
make
fertilize
embryos.
into blastocyst stage. So in the end, we came out with 8. And
8 embryos that actually fertilized and got to the stage where they could be used.
yes, so all our IVF people, if you know, we did a fresh transfer the first round. And
Just one embryo.
one embryo because he
We
didn't want to
picked-
do 2.
No, I didn't want to. We picked the best looking one and transferred it, which was a very interesting process. If you've never seen it or know how that process goes,
Yeah.
ask me about it. I'll tell you all the details, fellas.
We
It's
have
interesting.
pictures, but we did one, and unfortunately that didn't work.
Didn't
And
stick. No, I remember
No.
getting that phone call. So after the transfer, you have to wait. I think it was a week or 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
A week or 2
2
weeks.
week wait is what they call it.
The longest wait ever. After they do the transfer, you have to see if the embryo sticks and I guess attaches, and she becomes pregnant. Well, you have to wait for that phone call. They called us. I answered the phone. Vanya couldn't take it. She was in the room. I was in the living room with Felicia, and the phone call unfortunately wasn't good news. The embryo did not stick. It was devastating. To have to go through that moment with Vanya was tough. She's of course in tears. I'm trying to hold it together. It was hard, to
It
come
was.
this far and then be right there at the finish line. All you got to do is cross it, but we couldn't. It was extremely difficult.
So that was the first round. And they couldn't explain why it didn't work, but it was a fresh transfer, and they said some women body don't do well with the fresh transfer, that they prefer frozen transfer. So what the frozen transfer is, they took our embryos and they froze them. And again, we had to go through the whole process again with getting my body ready, doing all the shots and progesterones, and it was just so much.
I feel like we should share that part too a little bit more when she talks about the shots. That was tough for me,
Because he had to give them.
So every day, I think it was 7:00 we chose. You pick a time every day, 7 days a week. You take this shot every single
The
day.
needle's like this low.
Yeah, we're not talking about like a flu shot.
can find
We're
the picture. I'll insert it now.
It's a good needle, and I had to. Poor me to have to stick her with this needle. I shouldn't have to go through that, but I did. Every day, man, she would just lift her shirt and I, rub the alcohol. I remember, and
It was painful, guys.
yeah, it was painful for
It
me.
was painful. It was painful
Yeah.
for me. I had to get
And
the
then,
shot.
I had to just stick her with the needle real good.
I'll have to find some video clips. For
Yeah,
or
it's
pictures.
funny now.
Yeah,
In the
was
moment, it
painful.
was not fun.
I ended up buying this little Buzzy Bee thing off Amazon where it's a freezer pack and it
Oh,
vibrates. And that helped out a lot because I'm telling you, the needle was long. And then, yeah, so that's, I mean, those are some of the shots that we had to do. There's more shots and more medicine that I had to take. But
I thought she nagged about my driving. She really nagged about my needle sticking. I could never do it right.
But round 2, we did a frozen transfer, and they transferred 2 embryos. And this time it actually stuck. And of course, they tell you during the 2-week wait not to take pregnancy tests. And I took them. I didn't listen. I took a pregnancy test every single day leading up to the big appointment.
You probably took one the day of the transfer. Does it work yet?
No.
Not yet, honey.
But, so yeah, and then the second round, it wasn't, it was successful. They did stick. They did see the heartbeats, and then I went in because I was miscarrying, and
like 10
we lost
weeks?
them. 8 weeks. We were 8 weeks, and we lost those 2 babies. But let me tell you how God is, because the third round we did another frozen transfer, and those 2
this time we didn't tell anybody.
Stick. No, we didn't.
We kept it a secret.
I'll tag the video below.
Didn't tell our friends.
Of the third round.
After getting the phone call saying you're pregnant, hallelujah, and then making it to 8 weeks pregnancy, the furthest we've ever been, right at that point. And then to feel and know something's not right here, we go see the doctor, and she's having a miscarriage. So again, another huge blow to us, devastating.
Well, second round.
So now we're down to 5 embryos left at this point. We transferred 1, didn't stick, miscarried those 2. So now we got 5 left. But we jumped right back in it, man. We didn't lose hope. We didn't lose faith. Kudos to Van for being so strong and not letting the fear of these painful needles and surgeries stop her, because I got to tell you, if the men had to go through that, we would have been adopting. Okay, I wouldn't doing none of that stuff that Vanya did. So
it was pretty hard. I think I screamed out and cried, and
you did.
Couldn't stop crying, and I cried and cried and cried. So it was hard, when you feel like you finally have something that you've never seen before, and then to know that it was taken away from you. But through all of that, through all of the hard times, through all the times of it not working, I still had faith that it was going to work, and I just knew God was just working on us, and God was working through us.
That's
and
right.
Everything just happens on God's time, and everything happens for His reason.
Yeah.
So I just had to, keep having faith. I never lost faith through this whole entire process. I never lost faith, and I thanked Him. I thanked Him for Him giving us the opportunities to be able to do this, to be able to even try to go through this.
To raise that kind of money.
Yeah, so I thank Him.
Whatever we did.
But the third round we did it. We didn't tell the family. We actually recorded and documented the whole video, which again, I told you, I'll tag it below. And that just shows you the journey we went through with the third round. And we just felt like, it wasn't us keeping a secret. It was just hard. Like when we had to call and tell everyone we lost the babies, it was hard to tell your family, and hard to tell your friends that your
coworkers,
we lost the babies, and it's
all
hard.
Of people that follow your blog.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because then you feel like you don't want your followers to lose faith, because you're writing this story to have faith and let them see, oh my gosh, God finally blessed them. Oh my gosh, the babies are gone. So it's kind of hard. So we kind of kept the third round to ourselves and told everyone we were saving more money, because every round you have to pay for IVF. For the transfer. And another great thing about Dr. Hogan
the embryos left, though.
And he helped us out with paying for that. But third round we transferred 2. You guys can see in the video, and you can see in the video that it did work. And that's where we go into our second testimony. The girls were born 14 weeks early. They were actually born when the due date of the second set of twins that we lost. So they were born 14 weeks early. Madison weighed 1 pound 13 ounces. Morgan weighed 2 pounds.
2 pounds 1 ounce.
And let me tell you, I was on bed rest before I had the girls, and it was pretty scary. I do thank the company. My husband still works for them, but I left them after I had the girls. But they were such a huge support to us. You know, they made sure I was stocked with coloring books in the hospital. They sent us flowers. They came by and checked on us. And even my supervisor took our puppy Madden and took him into his home and told us, y'all focus on the kids. Don't worry about having to come home, walk the dog. Everything will be okay. So we appreciate you guys so much for thinking of us as we were in the most scariest part of our lives. God gave us these two girls, and
Our puppy's name was Bentley, though.
I said Madden.
Not
Oh,
Madden. Madden was another puppy. It's another story.
R.I.P. Madden. I'm
later.
sorry.
But yes, thank
Finley.
you for all those people that came. And then my mom brought us all that food. She brought us
Yes, we
gumbo
were
and
stocked on gumbo in the hospital, so
were
we
good.
really appreciate that. We just
Yeah.
thank you guys.
And the
so
nurses
much.
there were amazing too.
They were.
Yeah.
I was lucky to have.
We just
such
had
great
such
nurses.
good people helping
Yes.
us out through this process from start
So,
to finish.
yeah.
Everywhere we went, the doctor's office, the hospital, the delivery room, the NICU. We were blessed. God kept putting good people just in our path.
Well, let me tell you something else great. So, I had a breast reduction, and they with the breast reduction they tear through your milk ducts, and they're like, "Oh, you won't be able to breastfeed." And so, when the neonatal nurse doctor came in and was like, I need you to be able to breastfeed. These girls are going to need breast milk more than anything. It's nothing like having your mother's breast milk. And I'm like, I can't help you because I can't breastfeed because I had a breast reduction. And sure enough, the day the girls were born, they brought the lactation lady in, got milk, and we got some milk. And it wasn't much, but I was able to pump.
They were so little, they didn't need much.
No, I was able to
Enough.
pump enough milk to help out. And they still had milk donors up there that supplied the much that I couldn't supply. But that's another miracle. God knew that, I need, however her body's going to need it, those kids need some of her milk. And that was
goodness,
such a blessing because I just knew I wasn't going to be able to breastfeed. And
Yeah. So we made it to the NICU. You're supposed to go 40 weeks into your pregnancy. They came at 26 weeks, super early. Again, the next, I guess, probably the most terrifying part of that whole process was them coming that early, not knowing if your kids are going to survive. But our kids were dubbed the rock stars of the NICU. I mean, they came out kicking and screaming and breathing, and they were rocking and rolling in there, man. Every day was a new journey, but they are much, much, much stronger than we think they are.
yes.
I mean, they literally were like 12 inches long when they were born. The tiniest little feet and hands ever. When the doctor, I'll never forget this image when the doctor pulled Madison out of Vanya, and she was like, "Here's your baby." I was like, "That thing? That's not what a baby's supposed to look like."
I was so drugged up, I didn't know what was
She
going
didn't
on.
remember, but-
I was trying to stop myself from falling asleep because I thought I was going to go to sleep and die.
Yeah.
If you ever had a C-section, that's
Thank
the
goodness you
feeling
didn't.
because
That's-
your
We're
stomach's
glad to
torn
have you.
wide open and you're just laying there like, okay, what are they
What's
doing?
going on? Yeah, I don't know what that feels like, and I don't want to experience it either. But I know that I did not have that moment of, oh my goodness, my baby. It was a moment of, I hope she's breathing. Dear God, please be with my child. So I just went into prayer immediately over my wife and over my children, right there in that moment, and they rushed them back and got them hooked up to monitors and stuff, and that started the next chapter of our book was the NICU life. And it was a long journey. The girls were born November 18th. We got a birthday coming up this weekend.
Me
And,
too.
2 years old now.
No
and,
more adjusted age.
Yeah, we had a long NICU journey. Went to February.
February.
We went home early February, which was when they were expected originally. And so it was, the NICU became our new home. We were there every day, all day.
Every day.
And we
all
had
day.
visitors. My parents.
We only allowed 5 people.
They only allowed.
Yeah, I think it was 5 people or
Yeah.
maybe less than
My
that, but it was only
parents,
5
Van's
people.
dad. I don't even remember who else, but it was a long. It felt like forever in a day, but
Yeah.
bliss. The day that Madison got to come home first. Morgan stayed behind a week or two
week.
later, And it was weird. You have all the monitors in there and beeping and stuff going on
You're so
to let you
scared.
know when their breathing isn't right or their heart's not working.
Let me
whatever.
tell you, NICU life is a battle. So
It
all
is.
the preemie moms and all the moms who had their children in NICU, it's heartbreaking when you have to leave the hospital without your kids.
Yeah.
And then you have to see everyone else go home with their kids, and that alone could cause some straight depression. And I mean, again, with my faith in God, that he was able to make me not be depressed. And postpartum is something serious, and I just thank God that I didn't get it, and that that he gave me the strength to be strong, so I can be strong for my girls. I was at that NICU all day, every day, and I think I was probably getting on the nurses' nerves. I love you guys.
You definitely were. You did. You did get on their nerves.
I love you guys. I have my favorite nurses, and I know they're watching. So we can't thank you guys enough for
seriously
letting our babies be your babies and letting me continue to be a mom. Even though they were under your care, y'all still allowed me to be a mother.
Yeah.
And that's, I got to bathe my baby. I got to change my baby's diapers. I got to choose what they were going to wear. I got to choose how they, it was just a very involved, tough process. So tough. And then you see everyone's kids going home, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for that to be my kids. And, it's pretty tough. And then you see people up there that go up there with you, and their kids can't go home. And, your kids are striving and getting better, but their kids aren't. And it's it's so sad, but it's a rewarding experience to know your kids made it through and they got out. So NICU was a pretty tough battle, and I just thank you for being such a strong supporter and and being such a rock through this whole entire journey. I mean, even from the beginning of infertility, I used to cry and be like, I can't give you a child, I'm sorry. And he's like, maybe it's meant for us to adopt, don't worry, we know we can travel and live life and enjoy each other. So I do thank God that he allowed us to be able to enjoy each other before bringing in kids, because now we don't have no life.
Yeah, we do.
It's all about them.
I mean, not all. It's like 98% of it.
We get 2%.
Yeah, that's all I need. I just need like a smidget of percentage. But seriously, in all seriousness, it took the strength of the both of us. Like I said earlier in the video, and I mean this, if I had to go through that, we would have adopted. There's no way I'm letting these doctors stick me and take out my eggs and put something back in me. It's not happening. So it's your strength, honey, that truly deserves, to be recognized here. And
but in the end, we owe it to God.
Amen. The ultimate praise and worship, it belongs to Him, because without Him, we truly wouldn't have gotten through this. We would have given up. We would have been sad, but it's His grace, His mercy upon us that just kept us in a constant reminder who we really serve here and who's using us while we're here on this earth.
And you guys prayed for us.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't think of the amount of messages and response and messages from my blogs that you guys have sent me. Like people I've never met. I've met people across the world, and just to know that you never met a stranger, and that stranger could be there to pray for you and be a shoulder to cry on virtually. It's still amazing to have that feeling, and amazing to know that there's other people out there that are going through the same thing and that understands, and you can pray for each other. So we've met friends near and far, and I pray to God one day we get to hang out with them, because of course we don't live close, but they've gone through the same thing we have. And again, we will be going through this again whenever, maybe 5 years, 4 years, we'll try again.
I'm getting old, honey, but I don't have 5 years to wait, but we just wanted to share that with you guys. And for those who haven't watched the video, again, it's right down below. You can click on it and check it out. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to us. And again, don't be afraid to share your testimony.
Share it. Tell everyone.
You never know who's
Tag
listening.
your videos below. We want to see them.
Yeah. Tell us your testimony. Share it with us. We'd love to hear We want to know all about it. We want to know how God has worked in your life and how he is still working in your life today. And we want to hear all about it. So don't be afraid to share it. Let your people hear it and touch somebody's life. Be a blessing to someone else. Show them how God has worked for you.
Amen. All right, we'll see you guys later.
I'm not crying.